best episode of this podcast we've ever done.
I feel like I'm gonna vomit.
Hello. We signed off by talking about World War III.
Okay.
Back alright.
Here's the thing. If you are watching this is going to be out in a couple weeks, then probably things are fine.
Yeah.
And so if you're not, then no one will have to hear this.
If you're finding this in the rubble in 50 years' time.
Now,
If you're an archaeologist from 300 years
The
from now.
last podcast.
this is the last one they ever really got out. Yeah, so I don't know. All of the
You should probably cut this out, but are they doing this in order to make America get involved, like, actually in the war?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. I mean, basically, it's look. Here's the thing. Sorry, this is I'm doing this on the wrong podcast.
Yeah. This is Trash Future Coded.
I'm doing this absolutely on the wrong podcast. But essentially, any sort of right-wing reactionary government that's based on constant threats of escalation, which you could see domestically in the UK, US, et cetera, just pointing in different ways. Eventually, they have to do the thing that they're constantly promising to do, but it always has to be more than last time. And so it's the whole mode of governing and the whole mode of being is based on constant brinksmanship until you finally go over. Did they do it because they want the US to get involved? Maybe. Did they do it just because it's the thing that they've always wanted to do? Probably.
For those of you who didn't understand what Riley just said, you know how David Blaine tries to constantly one-up himself and eventually
they're
he just has to suck his own dick?
They're blaming.
They're blaming so
what
hard.
What if Benjamin Netanyahu was in a Perspex box, suspended above the Thames?
I fucking wish.
On Tower
Jesus.
Bridge,
there we go.
And sucking his own dick.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. Hey,
So,
I think people would take another look at Benjamin Netanyahu if he did that.
God.
Hey, BB, if you're listening, why don't you try that? Why don't you try getting in a Perspex box above the Thames and literally sucking your own dick?
could David Blaine do that?
And what I'm saying is
He
that
didn't suck his own dick, but he did get into a Perspex
he
box
got in the
above
box.
the Thames.
You know, he always trying to one up himself. And what I'm saying is, like, at some point, it's just
Yeah,
you can't really go past sucking your own dick in terms of.
Yeah. Eventually, you one up yourself enough that you one off yourself.
Heyo! We are
There we
so
go.
bad.
We're cooking, baby.
What's Blaine done recently?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. That's like the fucking his agent. Like, honestly, this guy, he's doing nothing for us. What's he done for me lately?
Do you think he's in Vegas? Is he in Vegas?
David Blaine,
It's been 20 years since that box.
We have a very exciting opening.
Sorry, my dad talking about my mom? I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. So yeah, no, because David Blaine, we have a very exciting opening for you. It's this box that's open that we will then close.
Honestly, okay, Riley, I just want to inform our listeners. I'm assuming you don't know this, nor do you care, but I did get engaged. And the dream is to get married in Vegas, just the two of us. And because as
as opposed to like a third guy, a secret third person,
no, the listeners, and
broadcasting that you're not public.
Exactly. And I've told Milo this. Riley, I know you're deep diving into Blaine right now.
You know, I'm just grabbing some Blaine.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing
David
some
Blaine
Blaine
could marry you
to come back to.
All right. Okay, basically.
You always got to set up the next thing.
The dream is to get married in Vegas, right? Just the two of us.
Yeah.
And then because, as you know, my fiance now is a redhead, we go watch Carrot Top, and then I get topped by my very own Carrot Top. Am I right, fellas?
Let's go. Sorry, that was a terrible.
Riley, you get
five.
it.
I do. Okay, I'll do it for real. There you go.
Come on.
And he's going to be bringing some props.
Carrot Top does look
more like Carrot Cock.
baffling.
Am I right?
And
Sorry,
what?
I'm
Excuse
My
me?
boyfriend's bright orange cock.
no, I'm Olga Cock.
It tapers.
I'm
at the
taking
end.
his first step.
It's like a wine stopper down there. It's crazy.
Oh my
What's
God.
Carrot Top been up to? I mean, he looks baffling. He looks.
You should ask what his work is. You go into an office, whatever he's got
You know,
going.
the thing about
Carrot Top. What exactly is it you say you do here?
the top of a carrot is green.
Uh-huh.
There's so many
I always thought that about.
I've
Like,
always.
He should be carrot bottom.
I've always thought
I'm
that.
Carrot Top.
Carrot bottom is carrot top sub. Yes.
I have always thought that about Carrot Top. There's never a moment, you say, where I'm not thinking about Carrot Top Hey, the top of a carrot is green. What's going on with this? I bet that kills at clubs up and down the country.
Seriously.
Yeah. I mean, only in America. People in this country don't know who Carrot
But
Top is.
whoever is doing stand-up on the strip
Yeah.
is probably doing lots of the carrot top. The top of the carrot is green.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Carrot Top is a great example of a phenomenon where, like, it's
Jesus Christ, he looks insane.
Yeah, he looks
like
real bad.
he looks like Johnny Depp.
Does he?
Yeah.
I mean,
like
to
a
be fair,
Joan-
that's sort
Joan
of one up
Rivers
on what I was
Johnny Depp.
imagining.
No. Sorry, he looks
Johnny
like
Deppers.
Joni Deppers, exactly.
he looks like Johnny Depp, but like whatever process has been
Can we have a
happening.
look?
What if I no my Carrot Top?
Yeah.
No, like whatever process has been happening to Depp, where he's sort of becoming like puffier, right?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Do you think? Okay,
He's a picture
Riley.
of Dorian Gray for someone else.
Yeah.
it's my husband. Can I just say? Do you think the puffiness, and we all know what puffiness we're talking about. You know how people get super plastic surgery and puffiness. Is that okay? I have 3 questions. Is it some sort of chemical process of like allergic reaction, or is it filler?
I also think it might just be
Booze and facts.
you've been destroying your body for sort of 40 years.
The
with
way that like an
chemicals.
alcoholic is really puffy.
Yeah, although Carrot, I wouldn't be surprised if you told me, oh, Carrot Top's been sober for 40 years. I'd be like, yeah, probably.
Yeah. But he drank so much
Yeah,
before then.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, one of those things.
Or,
I mean,
carrot juice.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
look, what?
As soon as a comedian is teetotal, you know it was fucked.
Oh my god, one of my favorite Russian jokes. Can I tell you my favorite Russian joke?
Please.
One day I will get Riley's attention, but today's not that day. The joke is
Sorry.
like no, it's fine. So Vovechka is like a little boy character in like Russian jokes. I'm sure you've heard of him. But
Sure, well, he's president now.
but basically the joke is like this mom goes like, look at Vovechka, he doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, and the boy goes, it's because I can't anymore. Я больше не могу.
And it's true.
That's what a
because little
comedian goes
boys
to.
do drink and smoke in Russia.
Yeah, well, that's how you got to deal with the stress.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, the idea for Benjamin Button came to the person when they came to Russia and they saw all these babies smoking, thinking that must be an old man.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was there's an article about Carrot Top in Parade magazine that came out 2 days ago.
Okay, was it
Parade magazine for all your parade-related news.
It's an entertainment news magazine.
Oh,
We're
right.
aware.
Yeah. Well, he's not.
I think you could have guessed.
Yeah. It's a very busy in Pride Month
Look,
over at Parade magazine.
I would love if there was a trade publication for the parade industry.
Yeah.
You know, like
the top 10 floats of 2025.
Yeah, that's the Float magazine,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
not the Marine magazine.
Well, Float magazine does confuse a lot of small business owners who are trying to read up on like how much money you should keep in the till before starting the day.
Do you think is that a magazine though? Do you need monthly updates on that?
Yeah, and also swimming teachers regularly get sucked in by Float magazine.
Float,
Yeah.
but wouldn't Float magazine just be sort of a Wikipedia article, right? It's one piece of information. At best, a sort of encyclopedia that sort of stretches across different business categories. But it's not like you could be like 5 amounts of cash you should have in your till this month.
Yeah. Here's 5 coins that are going to be doing a lot for your business in Q3.
You know, like I don't understand how that's a monthly thing.
Yeah.
Iconic comedian 60 is totally unrecognizable during recent podcast appearances.
Okay, can we see it, please? Jesus Christ, Riley, I'm begging.
This is the picture they use of him, but that's when he was
Yeah,
sort
he was
of
young and sexy, yeah.
Well, he was young.
He's like a Shaun White.
That was savage, Riley. Love that for you.
He has an unsettlingly triangular tongue. I'm going to have to show you this
All
again.
right.
Look at that. Look at that tongue.
Well, it works for me, babe.
Very pointy. He's quite androgynous there, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mm.
So Carrot Top, legally known as Scott Thompson.
I love the way they've said that as though, like, Scott Thompson, if that's even his real name. Like, legally, because it's absurd that his real name isn't Carrot Top. Like, do you know this guy's a big fat phony? His name isn't even really Carrot Top.
It's
To
Scott.
Mr. and Mrs. Top, a son, Carrot.
Yeah, well, Mr. Top and his 3 friends were a Motown group.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Recently,
Very good.
so it's now at 60
And
years
that
old.
was very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
It was great.
Now at 60 years old, Thompson is rocking dark eyeliner and a head full of dreadlocks, a look he curated for himself.
Uh-oh.
Are they red? They have to
Yeah,
be
of
red.
course they're red.
Can I see it, please?
He's gone full Adele.
Wait, can I do a quick fact about Motown?
Yeah.
Do you know Guys, I need you to Riley, look at me. Riley, make some fucking goddamn eye contact with me right now. Riley, do you know LMFAO?
Oh yeah, one's an uncle.
Yes,
Yeah,
but do
yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Yeah,
that
the uncle nephew.
Yes, but do you know
That's
that
how it crosses over with your interest. 'cause
the
it's
uncle and the
Uncle
nephew, their dad/granddad is Barry fucking Gordy.
That explains why they're so popular.
But isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah, that is.
Barry Gordy from Motown. That's nuts.
Damn.
The guy who discovered fucking Diana Ross and Marvin Gaye, his sorry for but that's crazy.
Yeah. He also
Anyways.
That makes me want to laugh a great deal.
Oh my god, fuck off. Fuck you so hard. Fuck
With
you
my
so
uncle.
hard. Fuck you so hard. Ryan.
LMAOWMU.
it's funny that like they are both an uncle
Okay,
and
here we go.
nephew.
Here we go. This is Dreadlocks Carrot Top.
What is going on?
Wow.
I told you he looks like Johnny Depp, but far worse somehow.
He looks
You are
like
right.
Salvador Dali.
Wait, like a Salvador Dali painting, or like Salvador Dali the artist?
He actually looks like Salvador Dali. Yeah.
What with the sort of mustache, with the pointy mustache?
Yeah, because
He's got a pointy mustache.
it looks
yeah.
like paint, but then you realize that it's just he dyed every piece of hair on his face. My question is
I have my computer back.
Yes.
please.
He's fucking tonk though. He might be on the juice.
he looks great.
I don't think there's anything might about it. He is.
Yeah.
He is almost. I mean, look, we don't have any evidence that he's using Jesus Christ. It's even worse in this one.
Oh, wow.
I
Yeah.
hate to say that I would go there.
He looks a bit like if the Mighty Boosh were taking the piss out of Amy Winehouse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm there
yeah.
with you.
There's a bit of that
I'm
going
there
on.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm there with
But
you.
there's quite an old Greg energy
Mm.
to that image.
I'm barely recognizing this reference, but I'm holding on.
So
My question is, Riley, as a
Yes.
plastic surgery aficionado,
more of
knower,
yeah, I more sort
researcher.
of know. I know about it just in case I ever need to use it.
when a
This was medical. Remember,
you look beautiful.
Thank you.
You're
My
like you're like
question
a Swiss guy who's like doing target practice with his gun every week, like in case he ever has to defend Switzerland. You're like, what if one day I have to look really young when I'm 70? You just got to always be prepared. You never know.
So here's the thing, right? I sort of feel a lot of
Anxiety.
I feel a lot of affinity with the kind of
The
Swiss mentality.
Oh no. Oh no. Where is this going?
Well, so you know how the Swiss, for quite a long time, I think they only dismantled this program in the early
No one knows where
2000s.
they got their money.
No, not that. Not that part.
No.
Only one element of the Swiss mentality is one
Which
I
one?
feel an affinity for.
Mhm.
It's that they like to be prepared for stuff.
Mm.
It's true.
That's the Swiss, baby. They love to be prepared.
That's what people say about the Swiss.
They're like, you know, what if the horse got a stone in its hoof? You have to think about these things.
Yeah.
But what if you had to, open a bottle of wine and then maybe cut your toenails? What if that happened to you suddenly on a walk?
Mm.
Well, that's yeah,
Mm.
but more in the sense that
I can't enjoy this wine because my toenails are too long.
Yeah.
If only I had brought all of the necessary tools. And my horse is kicking off because it has a stone in its hoof and it's disturbing me also from drinking the wine.
yeah, I
Mm.
want to enjoy this lovely chasselas, and yet I can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, no,
My watch has run out of battery. If only there was some kind of watch that ran on the power of your body movements. Yeah.
Okay. Can I say now, my
Okay,
thing?
yeah, go for it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, you're done with your Swiss Army knife material.
Yeah.
You sure you don't have one more? There's not one more hidden in there? So anyway, is that the Swiss, they only dismantled this program in, like, I don't know, the early 2000s, maybe the 90s, is that they had mined all of the bridges and tunnels into Switzerland so that if they were ever invaded, they could just be like, okay, looks like the Germans or the Italians or the Austrians or the French or all of them together are about to invade us.
Israel. Who knows?
They would just, why not? They would just sort of, hit the button and then collapse all the routes into Switzerland, and then they'd be fine.
And then they'd be hermetically sealed in Switzerland.
So I have a similar approach to things that I have a similar approach to things that worry me, which is just like I need to know what to do in case it happens.
Mm.
So I'm like, all right, I mined my bridges and tunnels. The bridges and tunnels are no longer mine, as far as I'm aware. Not that I know of. They said that they demined them.
What would you say is the most niche scenario you are prepared for? This is a question to the group.
Ooh.
I'm not prepared for any niche scenarios. It's more just the usual. I'm not like a prepper. I'm just very anxious.
Yeah, like
In a way,
what
you're
if
prepared.
what if the French, Austrians, Italians, and Germans invade at the same time? That's what I'm prepared for.
That's the one and only thing I'm prepared
Yeah,
for.
the ultimate alliance of all of Europe against Switzerland.
Yep. To cut that out, that's actually mean. That's mean. I love you. I love both of these.
Can you leave
boys.
in Olga saying that?
Okay.
That's mean.
What's your question?
All right. The question is, when I'm seeing a lot of older people who had a lot of plastic surgery have a V-shaped eyebrows. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, like a cartoon angry face.
Well, just now we just saw Carrot Top, and his eyebrows go
he was
directly
just here, but he didn't
right.
come on.
But he's just off camera. Just hi, Carrot. It's
Quick, Carrot. Actually, cut that out, please.
I never want to hear you say that again.
Actually, cut that out. That made me quite uncomfortable.
I don't want you to ever use
It
that
made you
voice.
uncomfortable?
Yeah. All right.
You weren't prepared for that scenario.
I honestly, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? What a combination? Is it Botox and a facelift? What's going on there?
Oh, you mean the people who are getting plastic surgery where it's looking awesome?
No, God, Jesus. Look at that picture of Carrot Top you just showed us.
So
his eyebrows are a V. How does that happen?
So what happened? So look, here's the thing. I think
because your eyebrows are like this. So how did they go all the way up? Is it?
so it's continued pulling back of the skin.
I see.
Because like here's the I think one of the things that's been learned recently. I can't remember if we talked about this on the show before, but there is a plastic surgeon. I think it might just be one guy right now. I think he's in Los Angeles, and he does like a total fat pad reorganization of the face.
Right.
And he makes Kris Jenner genuinely look like she's 40.
Yeah.
It's astonishing what they're able to accomplish. So I think what happens is you kind of have to have waited to get if you started getting work done in the 90s, you're going to look like a UFC octagon, and there's kind of nothing you can do about that now.
UFC.
Like there's no fat pad rearrangement that's ever going to make Carrot Top look regular.
Right.
Right, which when he's at your wedding, this is how we got to Carrot Top. I think is that he was going to be at your wedding, looking incredibly off-putting.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
He's been off the pudding, all right. Am I right?
Am I right, fellas?
Well, he's hench.
Yeah, he is hench. So, but
I laugh at less. Just to be completely.
So, any case, yeah. So I think basically what you're looking at is someone who's like, oh, I see a wrinkle. Better pull my skin tighter.
Right,
and then it looks like he's wearing a mask of his face.
Because you don't really pull the inner corners of your eyebrows. You only pull the outer ones. And so it does over time just become a V.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Over
mean?
time, you become like an anime villain.
Yeah.
That's what you're going for. But I mean, to be fair, anime villains not very wrinkly.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
They got other stuff going on.
You get to live in a big tower. Yeah. And say stuff like, "You've once again underestimated my power." I think Carrot Top should do that. I think he should like live in the shard.
The thing.
I think he lives in he could live in the Excalibur Hotel, which I'm sure has a tower.
One day, someone will pull that hotel from the ground, and then they'll be the true king of Las Vegas. But until that day,
yeah. Well, I mean, all writing about him suggests that he's a nice guy, and he's also been completely sober forever.
oh, there you go.
Yeah,
So
but
we
no,
aren't surprised.
but
We
no-
were prepared for that.
But I think it's never like, oh, it went too far and then he had to quit.
Well, he's clearly done that with plastic surgery, so he may or may not have an addictive personality.
Oh, he's that kind of like American freak who, like, from even a young age was like, alcohol is evil.
like Trump.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I never want to be out of control. And it's like, those eyebrows are out of control, buddy.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Thank you. I
Fun.
appreciate that.
Thank
You gotta get kind of freaky with it with one part of your body.
I like when you get very catty.
Yeah. Which Trump would love.
Yeah. So
He'd be like, look, I don't agree about my eyebrows, but I do respect the gambit of being a little bit catty.
I got a Blaine. There's a Blaine 2025.
I'm
It's
ready.
a Blaine article.
I'm ready,
We got
baby.
Blaine update. You had a question about higher education for me though.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You want me to
We'll
do
wait
the
for the
Blaine?
Blaine.
We'll
Yeah,
do
yeah.
the Blaine. Fucking hell.
Blaine and Gain, our new segment.
We'll do where we edit David Blaine into the Michael Bay movie Pain and Gain, the best Michael Bay movie that there is.
Yeah, possibly the best movie that there is.
Yeah.
I watched Ted on a plane.
How was
Ooh,
that?
recently?
Yeah.
That's a good plane movie.
I think like on the way from Australia.
Yeah, dope. I've never watched it.
It's exactly what you think it would be. And then
Milo,
I got,
are you going to be on a flight? You gotta check it out.
Yeah, it's true. It's a
Yeah.
good flight movie. I also, then it kind of snowballed into a huge Family Guy kick. And
Awesome. I love how you have a lot of the taste and affect of like a 14-year-old boy. It's so sick.
That's how. Why do you think I hang out with you two? Anyway, so
it's like, stop. The men watching this can only get so aroused.
I don't think I have the taste
You
of a
can only
14-year-old
become
boy.
so much of their dream woman before they actually explode sat in front of you.
She's
Gene.
married.
She's gonna be married.
I don't-
wait.
I don't.
no, because then I want to essentially transform into Stacey's mom. That's
Yeah.
Right.
and that
fine.
will make them come.
Sick.
But I have 3 tattoos, and then, like 2 of them are symmetrical, and 1 isn't. And I'm thinking of
Peter, Lois, Stewie.
I genuinely wanted a Stewie tattoo right here. I think that'd be too much.
love. You know, there was that shirt of the Strokes for a while, right? Where it was like the names of the Strokes.
Yeah.
On like vertically
Yeah.
written. I would love to walk around wearing one that's Peter, Lois, Brian, Stewie, Chris, Meg.
All right, send them in, buddies. Okay.
Gonna get a little tattoo there?
How fucking sick would it be to have a little rib cage Stewie?
Or ass Stewie. Very funny.
Rib cage is so painful.
Well, I got one right here, and it was fine.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you could get a full back Stewie. A full back piece
Oh,
of Stewie.
yeah.
I know it's
like a Russian prison Stewie.
Yeah.
Like, depending on the
he
number of
has
hairs.
a teardrop.
Like,
I don't, but he does. I have a
Uh-huh.
tattoo of Stewie Griffin with a teardrop tattoo.
I killed Lewis. That's
Okay.
why I'm in the mob, Brian. 2 Stewies, 1 on each kneecap because I don't kneel before
Yeah.
Lois.
Okay, I know this
You got to
is
get like a Peter just like creeping, that's half visible, creeping up your neck. And but it's like a Peter smoking weed and holding a gun. You know?
I'm the thief in the law, Lois. I'm in charge of the whole prison. I can't really do Peter.
Yeah,
It's
that's
hard.
actually one of your
This is
worst
hard. It's
impressions.
hard.
This
yeah.
is hey Lois.
Freaking sweet.
I'm in
It's hard to do.
I'm in charge of one of the prisons in Russia that they let the prisoners run.
Oh, Lois, they've put me in one of the black prisons.
Uh,
Why couldn't I go to the red one?
For context, in Russia, black prisons are prisons run by prisoners. Red prisons are prisons run by the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, do keep that in.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I know it's a shitty movie. Do you remember That's My Boy, the Adam Sandler and Andy
That sounds
Samberg
like
movie?
a fake movie from Seinfeld.
yeah. But there's one gag in it that always makes me laugh, which is they made Andy Samberg as a kid have a back tattoo, but then he grew up and it stretched out.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
guess that would happen.
It's just really funny. So
What would a child have a back tattoo of? Like Garfield?
I don't remember what it was. It was funny.
Spider-Man back tattoo.
That would be sick.
Get full body like Power Rangers pajamas tattooed on yourself.
Oh,
With,
yeah.
like, little cuffs.
Because
That
you
would be
hate
so
wearing your
cute.
pajamas.
Yeah,
So you can fool your mom. into
Yeah.
thinking.
So
Yeah,
cute.
put on your pajamas. It's time for bed, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, one of my ex-boyfriends had a condom tattooed. Anyway, so that was
Sorry.
funny.
No. It just took me a second, but it
That
was
was
actually very
funny.
good.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was.
Riley, that was good.
It was. I'm not denying
Fuck
it.
off. Anyway,
Having a-
I'm,
I
I'm
love you.
agreeing
Having a
with you.
broken condom tattooed on you, so you've always gotten it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm-
latex allergy.
I'm trying to agree with you.
Okay, so I'm about to ask my academic question.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I know it's gonna take everything in your body to not interrupt me with hysterical gags that are funnier than whatever I say, but I need you to summon that energy.
Why don't you meditate for like 30 seconds and let Olga ask your question?
Okay.
Just try and imagine this
I
fake
say
plant.
this without. No, it's because
This
I'm.
is the funniest bit of the book.
No, it's because I know that whatever I'll say won't ever be as funny as what you say. So just can you wait for the riff for just 1 second?
That's such a heartbreaking thing to say about yourself.
Well, I'm not gonna try and be
Okay.
funny with this question.
Uh,
It's a
Yeah.
serious
Okay,
question.
sure.
Milo, just try and imagine the fake plant growing, right? Try and concentrate on what it might mean for a fake plant to
Try
grow.
and
Or
pretend you're
listen
on
to what I
acid.
have to say. Anyways, okay, so
Riley's like, here's what I do when a woman's talking. I think about what if the fake plant was growing. And then it seems like I'm listening because I'm not talking, but it gives the effect of listening.
That's absolutely not what I do. I'm recommending that you can take an action
make
to
a mental to-do list for what you.
Just imagine a monkey clashing cymbals together in your head. For a bit. Here's what I do when Lois is talking. I think about the fat man falling down the stairs. Okay, now I feel bad for Riley.
No, Riley, you're the best. We love
Because
you.
it's not what he meant, but it is funny.
It's so funny.
I would love to hear this question.
oh yeah, hear the question. He'll hear it.
I would love to listen to and think about the question in the context of what I know about you as a person. How about that?
Although Bella's not even here yet, and I've already fucking
Yeah, what the
myself.
fuck? Where is she?
I don't know, man. Maybe she's too cool for us now.
So,
sorry, the question.
the question, please. This question, which I'm so excited about.
It's never going to be as good as whatever just happened. All right. So, okay. I'm just going to say this seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Please can we not riff for like
Sure.
genuinely 30 seconds. Okay, so I, as you know, am doing a PhD program in human-computer interaction. Because of the nature of my PhD, obviously everybody's constantly talking about AI and generative AI because it is like the sexy new kid on the block. And like whether it's relevant or pertaining to the topic at hand, people will try and shoehorn AI however they can, right? Because that's the thing to do. You're doing so great. By the way, guys, you're doing amazing.
You don't. I'm not doing amazing. I'm doing normal.
Okay.
He's doing amazing.
All right.
I didn't even say that PhD stands for pretty huge dick.
And
we can cut that too.
Look,
It stands for pretty huge dissertation, guys.
exactly. And honestly, the thing is, I know I'm not saying it, but I'm very impressed. Just so you know, as I'm speaking, I am also simultaneously impressed by you.
That's how women get men to listen to them.
I would love to hear the second part of this
Please carry
question.
on. You're interrupting yourself, and it's making me do it. I was fine. I wasn't saying anything. And then you started it.
I cheated on you because you kept reminding me about the last time I cheated, about how sad you were about the first time I cheated, so I cheated again.
You're having sexy eyes when you keep going, I'm so proud of you
The
for not
rest
cheating on
of
me
the
right
question, for the love of God.
I'm impressed that you're not cheating on me right now. You can be having sex with anyone, but you're having sex with me, and that's great.
Please.
Okay.
Part 2.
And so you're reading a lot of articles about how students and academics are using ChatGPT or other generative AI to write papers, right?
Yeah.
I know this is not the usual tone of the podcast, but I tried to ask you this on the phone a couple of days ago, and you kept blowing me off. To be fair, because it's your birthday.
What? I don't understand what funny thing
I
happened.
not blow off my own podcast on my birthday. What does the world come to?
I'm sorry. No, this is my fault.
I
No, this is completely
I
my
intended to
fault.
take the day off and go for a walk in Kew Gardens.
Yeah, as
but
you
I
should.
didn't.
As
I
you
wasn't
should.
able to because I had to work.
No, but you should just do whatever you want. It's your birthday, babe.
I intended to take the day off and go to Kew Gardens, but I wasn't able to. It's such a Riley sentence.
It sounds like a deposition.
It could have only been better if it ended with because of my ass.
But so you're referring to the time where I got ass surgery?
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time Riley speaks, it's like he's giving an alibi.
No, I intended to go to Kew Gardens that day, but I actually did not. I actually had to work. You can see in the records, I did not take the day off. You can look in the system. You can find emails sent from me that day. I was not in Kew Gardens.
There's no way I could have done that, Your Honor, because of my ass. I have a note from my doctor here, from my ass surgeon. I say that just a few weeks before that, he'd done a complete fat pad rearrangement of my ass to make me look 40.
That pad rearrangement is what my boyfriend did last night. Am I right? Thank you.
My ass looks like Kris Jenner's face now. I'm like Professor Quirrell, but my ass is Kris Jenner.
So Olga, what you're feeling about academia? Can I infer what the second part of your question is, please?
No.
Okay.
This is the best episode of this podcast we've ever done.
I feel like I'm gonna vomit.
Hello. We started off by talking about World War III.
Okay.
Do the TLDR
Riley's ass
of
being
what the
Kris
hell's
Jenner.
going on around here?
Olga's
don't
been
know.
trying to ask
I
a
wish I
question.
could tell you.
Olga's been trying to ask a question for 10 minutes.
But they keep interrupting.
No, you keep interrupting
No,
yourself.
I keep interrupting as well.
What's the question?
Oh, we don't
I'm trying,
know.
Bella.
We
I am.
don't
If
know.
only we had access to that information. It's something about computers.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna try and catch up, Bella. Hi, Bella. So lovely to see you.
Yeah,
So
hi.
very
It's Bella, everyone.
Hey, Bella's here.
Yay, she's here. She's finally.
Please clap along at home.
Okay. So, Bella, just for context, this is kind of a bummer and a serious question. I wanted to ask Riley earlier in the week on the phone. It wasn't meant to be for like podcast funny. It was literally just a serious question I wanted to ask Riley. We could not connect on the phone this week due to other reasons.
This is kind of a bummer and a serious question. Is how Riley started off the conversation with his accent.
Shut up. I love you, but shut up. Okay. And so I keep trying to ask this kind of serious question, but obviously we all either keep making jokes about it.
I don't.
It's like we've all taken drugs and you haven't.
Okay, yeah.
And it's like, because the tone of the question is so serious, like I keep undercutting myself because it's so not the tone of this podcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah, cool.
So PhD, I'm doing a PhD in human-computer interaction. Because it's human-computer interaction, everybody's constantly talking about AI, whether it's relevant, pertinent, or not.
Yeah.
People are constantly being like, but how can AI solve this?
Yeah.
Even though it's like,
Yeah.
we're at a Wendy's. And so one of the things that we're, well, at this point,
I'm feeling murderous rage towards whatever's happening right now.
I'm going to be
This
completely
has to be
honest with
secret.
you. This has been going on for about 15 minutes, and the question is not worth it.
No, now you
No,
have
no,
to
no,
say
no,
it.
no,
I
no,
do.
no.
I'm going to do it just because everybody's curious, but it's not that good. So, because, okay, in parallel, I'm sure you've seen in the news, everybody's talking about how academic papers, whether by students or academics, are being written either by AI or with the help of AI.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we're at a point where a lot of academics are like, it's inevitable, stop pretending, like stop not letting it happen, maybe like find a way to coexist with it, right? So fundamentally what I'm saying is academic papers are being written by AI to some degree.
Mhm.
And so I saw a presentation. This is absolutely no shade to the person who presented this. I'm sure that this will never reach them. But if it does, no disrespect to you. I think you're
If
brilliant.
it does, there's no way you got here.
What?
Yeah.
If it does reach them, there's no way they got here through all of the
Oh,
attempts.
that's
to
so
ask
true.
questions.
Yeah,
You
that's
came here
so
for
true.
Olga's AI question. You've really soldiered on through a lot of this.
That's so true. So basically, they presented a project where they were like, there's a peer review crisis in academia because like there's not enough peer reviewers. There's the quality of the peer review isn't great, all that stuff. And they're like, how can AI help us? And then they put out this like proposition where it's like AI should do the peer reviewing of the academic papers. So we have found ourselves in a situation where AI is not only writing these papers,
But
it's also
reviewing
peer
it.
reviewing these papers. And then when it comes to reading these papers, then consuming them at the end, we are encouraged to upload them to an AI that then summarizes them to us. My question is, why the fuck does the paper even exist in the first place if it's being written, peer-reviewed, and consumed by AI?
Yeah.
I
There's
mean,
no point.
yeah, there's no point.
But it's
that's,
like,
that's been
what's
true with
going on?
academic writing for decades now.
But I need you to solve this for me. That's why I wanted to call you.
Oh,
Make me feel good about this
Okay.
somehow.
Academia has been in a long-standing existential crisis that shows no signs of abating anytime soon.
That's not why I wanted to call you. I need you to tell me something nice.
Academia's going to bring in Big Sam till the end of the season.
What's Big Sam?
What's Big Sam?
Oh, Big Sam. Now we're on my turn. Big Sam Allardyce. He's like
That guy.
he's
Who is that?
the football manager who always comes in to manage a beleaguered team who are about to get relegated.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
sure.
To try and sort them out when their manager has been like sacked and disgraced.
I see.
They bring in Big Sam till the end of the season, and then
Okay.
maybe they finish 19th in the league.
Or like Ted Lasso is a reference I probably understand if I watch that show.
I love that you're like, here's a reference neither of us get. This is an example.
Bella, can you make me feel good about this?
I just kind of think that we are heading towards this. Okay, this isn't going to make you feel better. I think we're heading towards this kind of dilapidated skip fire where
Mhm.
everything that's interesting or fun or good or stimulating is going to be done by somebody else or by a machine. And then what's left over? Human beings with like no neural pathways, eating fast food on the street with terrible posture. That's my vision for the future. Because I'm just like, what's the
Oh, I
point
see.
of
You've been to barking.
Yeah, I've been to barking. I've been
you-
to Slough.
Everybody, posture was mentioned. Posture check.
Yeah, I just
If you're
feel.
sitting at home, posture check.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
right.
know what the future is. I
It's
feel.
just-
I feel really, really, in a state of abject horror about AI.
What really is upsetting, and this is not just AI, this is, I think, a lot of technology now. Like, the number one reason that's given for all of these things, it's like we are getting AI to peer review these papers because this reduces stress in academics. We are giving babies to babies to
We're giving babies to iPads and
I'm
iPads to
very
babies.
pro
I'm
giving
not giving my
iPads to
iPad a baby
babies.
until it's at least 10.
We're giving an iPad to a baby because it reduces the parent's stress. It's this like complete phobia of any discomfort.
Oh yeah,
or any
exactly,
friction.
exactly. It's kind of
God forbid I feel
crazy
stressed for a second. That's
Yeah.
life,
No,
bitch.
yeah.
And it's kind of
God forbid I feel
crazy
stressed for a second. I
that,
hate
like,
it.
if a medieval pilgrim were to look at society now and they'd see like a fat toddler with an iPad, they'd be like, well, this is the height of luxury, a little fat baby with a magic screen.
Yeah.
But actually, like a properly raised child that would be like thin and have no access to technology.
Which
Like a medieval peasant.
like, do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't say
Oliver
thin
Twist.
necessarily.
Yeah, a baby whose waist is on skinty.
A baby whose waist is on skinty that like eats deliciously Ella bars and like doesn't and has like screen time curfew.
Yeah.
Actually, to like somebody 500 years ago would be like, that's impoverished.
Right.
They have less access to all of these magic things.
Medieval peasants had barely any screen time.
Exactly. They had no screen time. No, the other day, this is a really toxic thought.
Please.
I've been like struggling to get to sleep recently, and I've gotten into this phase where like to get to sleep I have to watch, for example, a 20-minute YouTube video about like Mussolini's final hours to I don't know what it does. It
Watching
really
it upside
calms me.
down just to feel
watching it
something,
upside down.
Yeah.
And I watched this video the other day about Saddam Hussein's hole. And I was
For the hiding
lubricated.
place, or
and one of my thoughts was, wow, no screens. Like, it's so crazy that he was down there.
So what?
Discipline for somebody
reminds me- remember when
to be down there with no screens is crazy.
Okay, remember when Elon Musk was trying to help the kids that were trapped?
Yeah, the sub.
Yeah, and then he created the sub, and then someone was like, I distinctly remember this was like, hey, can you create a pocket for an iPod so they can listen to something like that?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, totally. And that's what that reminded me of. Someone needed an iPod pocket
Yeah, a little
in
iPod
the hole
pocket,
for
a little
Hussein.
shuffle.
yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, probably he couldn't have a screen that lit up, so because otherwise the CIA
Yeah,
would
but the
find
shuffle
him.
would be fine.
Saddam Hussein was goals in there. You know,
Yeah.
he was like reading books. He was hustling.
He was raw dogging
doing
the
press ups.
hole.
Yeah, raw dogging the hole. Which I mean, look, whom among us?
Could raw dog the hole like that.
Yeah, my boyfriend can't raw dog the hole without a screen.
I actually have stand-up about that, about my... Yeah.
Yes, you do.
That's true.
What about raw dogging the hole?
About my first long-term boyfriend couldn't raw dog the hole without a screen.
What, like without?
And that's
looking
why
at
he's
his-
an ex-boyfriend.
And that's why he's an
Without
ex-boyfriend.
looking at his phone,
Yeah,
like checking.
No,
his
without
email?
actually looking at... No, watching porn.
Oh, that's
Yeah, isn't that
regrettable.
interesting? Yeah.
yeah.
Without watching a YouTube video
Without-
about
yeah.
Saddam Hussein's hidey hole.
Because you could imagine, like that's the stereotype, right? Which is that no one can so many people now, sort of so dopamine addled by the phones,
Yes.
are unable to concentrate on just one thing. So you could really imagine that it'd be like, well, yes, I'm enjoying some sex, but also I'm watching Subway Surfer.
Yeah,
videos.
yeah,
Can
yeah.
I say something? This is a callback to something happened before you
Uh-huh.
arrived, but
Often, yes.
genuinely, the day before I got proposed to, and this is 100% true.
Congratulations,
Thank
by
you so
the
much. I
way.
really appreciate it. And this
Speaking
is,
of raw dogging the
I don't
hole.
know if this caused that, but I did perform a blowjob on my now fiance to an episode of Family Guy. So,
You've been on a real
Wow.
Family Guy kick, you said.
well, that
Do you remember which season?
That was part of the kick.
Mm.
No, we were watching the one that's like a whodunit. Do you know what I mean? I think it's season 3 opener. It's quite long. It's like they all go to a mansion and then everyone gets killed off one by one. And it was riveting, and I did blow him.
It's fine for you. It's fucked for him.
Mm.
What do you mean?
Well, because you're
Now-
primarily concentrating on the blowjob, whereas
Speak for yourself. My ears were perked.
whereas he's
Season
busting to
9.
Family Guy.
You
Is that
were
season
yeah,
9?
season 9, episode 1.
Okay, but we were going. Yeah, but we
You're in
weren't like
late
watching
Family Guy.
Choreography?
We weren't watching chronologically. I went on a Reddit that ranked all the
I
best
always
Family
do
Guy
that. I
Family Guy
always do
episodes.
that.
And I think it was like the first one there.
Mhm.
The amount of trust I put into anonymous Reddit users to rank episodes of certain things
100.
when I just want the TLDR of it.
Yeah.
But I was having the thought of like, because I kind of, before I go to bed, I am like addled with horror at like a personalized audiobook that tells me everything humiliating I've ever done.
Yeah,
And to
of
make
course.
that voice go away, I have to watch videos of the final hours of like a
Oh,
warlord's
so you're like,
life.
I'm bad, but Mussolini's worse.
Yeah, I have to
I hear
watch
that.
someone doing something. I have to watch information that's so horrifying because it then just puts my life into perspective
Yeah.
and my humiliations into
That makes
perspective.
so much sense.
Or
And-
sometimes are you like, Colonel Gaddafi didn't have to deal with this. People respected. Colonel
Yeah,
Gaddafi.
exactly.
Well, they
Well,
did
Yeah.
for a while.
I
Yeah.
was think I had the thought.
He wasn't going to bed with anxiety.
Does
He wasn't
everyone
listening to a
need?
podcast.
Does everyone need to do this? You know. But then, I was thinking, like, I feel.
So you're
I
like, what's
felt,
Vladimir Putin watching before bed?
Yeah, but then I was thinking about Saddam in the hole, and I was like, no screen, so he couldn't even watch a video of someone worse than him.
Yeah.
He just had to remember his own life.
Well, I think at some point, self-preservation kicks in, and you're like, what I did was actually good. Because
Yes.
your brain can't deal the guilt. You have to flip the guilt.
I've done that so many
Right?
times. Yeah.
Whereas like
yeah.
I was actually a victim in the situation where I called everybody a bitch.
I would like to
Yes.
read a brief excerpt from Blundy and Lycett, 1987, a book entitled Gaddafi and the Libyan Revolution, which is that the CIA had diagnosed him with clinical depression. So Gaddafi,
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God, that's the best sentence I've ever heard in my entire life.
You have mental health.
yeah,
Oh.
R.I.P. Gaddafi. Could better help have saved him.
It's
men's
okay
mental
not to
health.
be okay.
yeah.
Should have sent Prince Harry in to Gaddafi's hidey hole. I think Gaddafi was also hiding in a hole, wasn't
No, he was. I believe he was trying to. He was trying to escape the capital. But also, he had a lot of dealings with British leaders. Like he was very close with Tony Blair. Very easily, Tony Blair could have deployed Prince Harry.
All right, what
Yeah.
I'm saying is I'm going to throw out a world leader to you, and you're going to immediately, knee-jerk reaction, diagnose them with a mental illness. Go.
Love it.
he?
Ready?
Alright,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and three, 2, 1, Pol Pot.
BPD.
Love
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
true. Because everyone with glasses is evil. I've decided I hate everyone with glasses.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone
wow,
with glasses
there's a
is
lot
giving me
going
fucked
on.
No,
vibes.
that's Pol Pot. That's what he did.
Wait, did he?
Yeah. So,
I listened to 4 hours of a podcast about him, and that never came up.
I mean,
Yeah, he hated opticians.
yeah.
And
No.
He's hated like
collaborators.
all science, right?
No, I think he. As far as I know about the Khmer Rouge, which is not much.
As far as I know.
The thing I know about them is that a lot of them were were in student movements in Paris and came back to Cambodia, and that the movement itself was comprised largely of like jungle guerrillas who then sort of, and it was this fusion of and people who were guerrillas against like the Vietnam War essentially, like the expansion of the war throughout Southeast Asia, and so had a very they become very radical, and then those ideas were sort of harnessed by the Khmer Rouge coming back from Paris, and they were like, all right, everyone back to the land, all like intellectualism is sort of bourgeois.
Oh, yeah.
We are assuming that if you wear glasses, you are an intellectual.
They were
more
killing
than
like doctors.
yeah,
and that
yeah,
stuff,
but they to define all of that, it would be like, well, that you wear glasses, that's intellectual.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
and then,
isn't
you'd be
untrue.
getting like grabbed, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm flattered.
Yeah. Yeah, they killed a lot of ass men too, because that was intellectual.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
good. That's
Thank
You gotta like tits to be a real communist.
It's true.
Yeah.
Churchill?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
Depression. He talked about it extensively.
Manic depression.
He-
But
no,
I can't imagine the mania of
Black Dog.
Churchill.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like some eating disorder stuff.
Yeah. No, Churchill talked.
Yeah.
Dude, have you been to the Churchill war rooms? The stuff he ate was
It's-
fucking crazy.
It's
What,
one of
binge
these things
eating?
where. Well, go ahead.
What?
Binge eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of these things where
Claiming he was a feeder.
I haven't.
Get big for me,
Churchill
Winnie.
War Rooms is one of
Mm.
these like million things in London that I've just like never done because you don't do it if you live here.
Yeah, I went because my boyfriend's dad was in town. That's the first
Yeah.
time I went.
Like my mom, who also lives in London, whenever like family comes, she's like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the Churchill War Room." So my mom has now been to the Churchill War Rooms like 5 or
Yeah.
6 times.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, going on a hinge date to the Churchill War Rooms.
The thing that
God,
makes me
that would be
suspicious
funny.
Going on a
about-
field date to the Churchill War
Yeah.
Rooms.
No, they would be more up for it. I would love to do that as a bit, to be like, try and convince the most ordinary girl I can find on Hinge to come on a date with me and be like, it's a surprise. And then she turns up and it's the Churchill War Rooms. And I'm like refusing to acknowledge that it's weird. I'm just like, I just think it's a really interesting day
Yeah,
out.
you're trying to brush her hand next
Yeah.
to the wall text.
Mhm.
I'm like, you know how you always, you live in London and you never go to stuff because you live here, but I just think I've never been to the Churchill War Rooms. Wouldn't it be great to go?
That just sounds like a sort of sweet idea.
And you're just in front of there's probably an animatronic bit where he reads the fucking "we'll fight them on the beaches" shit, and you're just there like, it's quite moving.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but here's the
No.
thing: all you're describing is sort of a quirky idea for a date that's probably not a bad one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's slightly
agree.
defensive.
There's a
It kind of sounds like you've taken a girl to the Churchill war room.
So I'm going to do the talk. I've never been to the Churchill War Room.
I can imagine someone doing that genuinely and
Yeah.
sort of thinking it was kind of interesting and weird and sweet, but they're not. You know, some boys, they don't have the dimension to think whether or not something they're doing is weird.
Yeah.
They just do it. And I can imagine someone like that doing that.
Yeah.
And I think there is a sort of like manic pixie dream boy who would think it was like a quirky like thing
Yes,
to do.
I wouldn't
exactly.
do it,
They
but
want
I
a
could
kind of
see why
Sailor
someone
Moon
else would.
girlfriend
Yeah.
that has massive earrings and like a big stripy dress and
Yeah.
huge tits.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
I-
because they're not intellectual.
Because they're not intellectual,
I-
actually deep down. Yeah.
I
but they're just
wouldn't do that.
deeply craving like somebody to think that they are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What were we gonna say, Riley?
I said I wouldn't myself do that, but I could see someone else doing it. Gordon's is nearby.
Oh no. Diagnose Reagan.
Alzheimer's. Again, this is just legitimately what they had.
The game isn't as fun as I thought it would.
Sorry, the game's not as fun as you thought it would be because
you're giving
you're
your-
picking people who had actual diagnosed things with them. I mean, Churchill I've also treated it with so much alcoholism that Paul Roget has a champagne called Winston Churchill.
That doesn't feel like a punishment. That feels like a celebration.
Well, I mean, a champagne house isn't going to punish you for being an alcoholic.
This is true.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they've not got one called Carrot Top, have they? So, you know.
Why do you think Clicquot's a widow though? That is kind of a joke, is that like maybe her husband was an alcoholic.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why-
that's
It's
true.
too.
All right,
far-reaching.
Olga Thatcher. Let's go.
Oh my god. That's such a good one. What is it? A pick me?
Yeah, I think pick me.
Love that they haven't enabled a thing where when you put in your date of birth, it takes that question off.
That's
Like
so
the
true.
Americans will not accept the fact that you were born after World War II as evidence that you weren't involved in the Holocaust. You still have to explicitly state that you weren't.
Yeah. I know, it's like, what were you doing between 1938 and 1945? And then under it, it's like, but can we use you?
Do you know about rockets?
Yeah. Well, because the V2, you designed the V2, we can wipe the slate clean.
I like the idea that they're like still trying to get like impossibly old Nazis. Like they want a 110-year-old man to design a rocket that would be like good for 1952.
Yeah.
Look, we all love the Braun toothbrush.